So let's start by looking at the camera. Now at the moment we're in the bridge of this ship. If you hold down your right mouse button and then move your mouse around, you can rotate the camera and look freely around you. If you use the scroll wheel on your mouse, you can zoom outwards and actually come outside of the ship, and you can still use the right mouse button and moving the mouse around to look around the ship from any angle you like. So those are the fundamental camera controls. If I want to go back inside the bridge, all I need to do is use the scroll wheel, and if I keep zooming in, I'll eventually come back inside the bridge again. So let's go back outside and look at some of the other aspects of play mode. Now you can see we have ship controls here on the bottom left of the screen. This section here controls the power, so this is basically controlling the engines of your ship. Now you can see for this particular ship I have two levers here, one of which is for each engine. Some of the ships have a single engine, and for those you'll only have a single lever. So for this ship, for instance, if I push both of the levers forwards just by grabbing with my left mouse button and pushing forwards, you can see the engines are fired up and our ship's now moving forwards. If I grab them back again, I'm giving reverse thrust and our ship's going to start moving backwards. I can also move them independently so that one engine can be pushing forwards, the other backwards, and this will cause our ship to start to turn. So let's just reset these again and have a look at the other two controls here. Now you can see the top of these controls here, this is called the bow thruster, and what this will allow your boat to do is to turn when going at very slow speeds in very tight areas. So for instance, if I turn the bow thruster just by left clicking and dragging, you can see our boat is starting to turn to the left here, and obviously if I was doing it the other way around, the boat's going to turn in the other direction. So now let's move forwards with our boat and we'll look at the control at the bottom here, which is just the rudder for your boat. So if I turn this full to the side like that, you can see our boat is now coming around a corner, and it will continue to go around in a circle like this. The bow thrusters are less effective at high speeds, so you should also bear this in mind when navigating your ship. Now let's look at the navigation section over here. First of all, what I'm going to do is drag our objectives tab over to the side here, and I'm going to minimize it so that we've got a bit more space. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stop the ship where it is just by moving the engines back into the neutral position, and you can see the neutral position is indicated by the power tabs becoming red here. Now you can neutralize any of the controls just by double clicking on them. Now we have this navigation section over here. You can see it's split into three separate sections. You have the chart here, which basically is a sea chart of the area you're currently in. So you can see this circle here is indicating where you are, and then you have numbered circles here. Now each one of these is basically representing a waypoint, which is one of your destinations in a particular mission. So we're going to look at those a little bit later. To use this chart, you can see we have a scroll bar on the right hand side, and I can use this to zoom in and out. So you can go in as far in or far out as you like to get an idea of the area you're currently in. Now if we unpack the GPS just by clicking on it, you can see we have a lot of information about our latitude, longitude, the wind, our current speed, and all sorts of other information. You can find more detailed information about this in the help manual. If I click on the compass tab, you'll see that will also come out. And now the compass also has a lot of the similar settings we have in the GPS, but obviously here we're dealing with directions. So if I click heading, for instance, you can see a heading needle appears on our compass here, and COG, which is our course over ground. And as you check these boxes here, the different needles appear on our compass. Now you can see on the right hand side we have another set of check boxes. Now these do exactly the same thing as the check boxes on the left, but these create a 3D compass over your boat. So for instance, if we check the heading compass on the 3D section on the right hand side, you can see a compass has now appeared where our boat is. And as we zoom in and out, we can use this to see very clearly which direction we're heading in. And say for instance, now if I were also to check the course to waypoint here on 3D, it will tell us the direction we need to go for our next waypoint. So that's the section I want to look at next, but before we do that, let's have a look at the view menu at the top here. Now the view menu will enable you to turn particular parts of the console on and off. So if I turn show navigation off, you can see all our navigation panels have now disappeared, and then I can turn them on again like so. And all of these different panels can be turned on and off independently so that you can customize the interface to suit your particular style of playing. So let's now have a look at the waypoints, which are a fundamental part of the game. I'm first going to minimize the tabs here, and then we're going to move our objectives tabs over to the top again and click it so we can see what it says. And what it's basically telling us here is what we've got to do to complete this particular mission. So in this case, we've already completed our first mission, which was to reach that waypoint there. We did that earlier while we were exploring the ship controls. You can see now our next position to our waypoint is over here, and if you look where that arrow is pointing, you can see there's another waypoint in the distance there. So all we have to do is navigate the ship towards that waypoint, and once we've reached that, we'll be then moving on to the waypoint after that, which will be waypoint number 3. Now we can also use the keys for many of our ship controls. I'm using the cursor keys up and down to control the engine, and the rudder can be controlled using the cursor keys left and right, and also the bow thruster can be controlled by using the comma and full stop keys. So let's now head towards this waypoint, and you'll see as we reach it, a dialogue will pop up telling us that we have completed this mission and that we can then move on to the next particular waypoint. So there you go, it's saying objective complete. We've reached this waypoint number 2. The objective of this goal was cross the river and sail around this buoy, which we've just done. So we've now got to go to the next waypoint, which it's telling us is in this direction over here. So if we were to zoom right out, you can see somewhere over here is another waypoint, and that's where we've got to go to next. So let's move the ship around and start heading in that direction, and then we'll have a look at a few more parts of the play mode. So you can see we have these icons at the top here. Now these icons represent things that are currently in the scene. So at the moment we're looking, our camera is from the perspective of our boat. It's following our boat around. If I were to click one of these other items, these waypoints, you can see our camera is now focused on this waypoint here. And these are the waypoints we've just completed. You can see our boat's now moving away from it. If I want to look at the next waypoint, waypoint number 3, which we're currently heading towards, I can just click on that and you can see exactly where we've got to go. And you can see in the chart it's telling us where our camera is now located. So this can be useful for finding out exactly where you've got to go if you're a bit confused. So let's just move the boat so we're heading in the right direction. Just using the keys here to get it to move exactly where we want it to be heading. And now we're pretty much on course, so we can leave it like that and look at some more aspects of the play side of the game. So you can see we have an options menu here. Now in this options menu you've basically just got 3 options. One is pause, which obviously just pauses the game if you want to stop, and you can also pause the game by using the P key. Reset, now that will just reset the mission right back to the beginning, so you'll be starting again. So if you make any mistake, if you damage your ship or you miss a waypoint or something like that, you can just restart by using this here. Take photo, now that will basically just save an image from the game so that you can look at this later. If you found something particularly interesting or something you want to share with other users, you can just click that key and an image will be saved. Now the file menu, that will basically just take you back to the main menu where you can select another mission or create your own mission.